What's up, guys? Mr. 44 Boxing. Today I want to talk about Amir Khan. Amir Khan has an upcoming fight with Carlos Molina, an undefeated guy who's really a lightweight. Um, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this fight, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on Amir Khan in general. Do I really think that Amir Khan can bounce back? What I think he could actually accomplish, in the sport of boxing. Let's talk about the fight. This is an easy one. I think Amir Khan should win very easily, probably by late stoppage. I'm thinking late stoppage. I think that the move to, go to Virgil Hunter, was really probably the best move Amir Khan could have made. There's not really too many other moves that Amir Khan could have made. As far as trainers that are defensive orientated, you're not gonna find anybody better than a guy like Virgil Hunter. He trains Andre Ward, who is a master at defense, a master at defense. So there's not too many guys that you could really find out there who are really that good at defense. There was the late great Emmanuel Stewart, who was good at helping guys improve their defense, like he did with Miguel Cotto and Vladimir Klitschko. Rest in peace to Emmanuel Stewart. Um, and then are guys like Roger Mayweather, who work with Floyd Mayweather. Um, but those guys, I don't think they're the right fit for Amir Khan. You know, Amir Khan's not somebody who you're gonna really see trying to do a shoulder roll. Amir Khan is who he is. Um, and to me, Amir Khan reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya. He's got a lot of Oscar De La Hoya in him, which is a great compliment to him. I think Amir Khan could be a great fighter. I think Amir Khan got a reality check, a much needed reality check. Um, but like I said, I feel like Virgil Hunter is a great fit. And what Virgil Hunter is going to teach Amir Khan to do is think in the ring. According to an interview that I heard Amir Khan giving, that's what he basically said. He said Virgil Hunter is teaching him how to think, in the ring and really think about what he does. Um, and that's what Andre Ward does. Andre Ward plays chess with guys. He doesn't let guys dictate what he's gonna do. He dictates what they're gonna do. Um, and when they decide to make a move, if he has to react to that, he does. But he's constantly thinking, and I think that's what Amir Khan has been lacking. Not anything else, but just using his head, just using his head. And when you look at his losses, um, a guy like Lamont Peterson, if he does the right thing and keeps Peterson at the end of his jab, he wins the fight. A guy like Danny Garcia, Amir Khan was outclassing Danny Garcia up until the third round. In the first two rounds, Danny Garcia looks like a deer in headlights versus Amir Khan. And you got the feeling like, okay, this is going to be an easy, unanimous decision for Amir Khan. And then, I don't know if Amir Khan just tasted some of Garcia's power and decided that he wanted to bang with him. Maybe like the announcers were saying, he just went in the fight really wanting the knockout, and felt that pressure after coming off that Peterson loss. I'm just not really sure what was going on in the guy's head, but I feel like now he's really been humbled and he's a lot more focused. Now it's about Amir Khan. Can you make it in the sport of boxing? It's not about fighting Floyd Mayweather anymore or Manny Pacquiao. And Khan was distracted with the opportunity of landing a mega fight. He started to feel himself a little bit, and he got brought back down to earth. And I was a Amir Khan fan. I still do like Amir Khan. I like his style, and I really do hope that he could bounce back. Um, and he's gonna have to really take a good look at the last couple of fights and understand what he can't do. And I think Virgil Hunter is gonna really allow him to do that. Amir Khan's focus. I think he's gonna blow through Carlos Molina. But what's the next step? Amir Khan is gonna have to play it smart. He's gonna have to play it smart. Welterweight is not, in my opinion, a weight where Amir Khan is gonna want to be at. Welterweight, I just don't see. I don't see it for Amir Khan. I'm sorry, I just don't see him being a welterweight. I think the 140-pound division. I feel like there's so much work he could do there. I feel like he should move up to welterweight till maybe like 3 more years. And I really mean that. If his body can hold up, I know he's a bigger guy, but if his body can keep making 140 without really killing himself, I say stay there. What are you doing going up to welterweight to fight some of those killers up there when you can't even take the power of some of these 140 guys? Now I've heard theories that, sometimes when you move up in weight, your chin gets a little bit better. You know, to me, I don't really see how that happens because you're facing stronger guys. You know, like I said before, remember these guys are walking around a lot bigger than the weight that they're fighting at. You know, so you're not really getting hit by a welterweight just because you're fighting at welterweight. You could be getting hit by a 160 pounder. You're basically getting hit by middleweights. So it's just not for Amir Khan. Really bad idea, and it's a quick way to end his career. He needs to stay at 140, and there's plenty of fights for him. Um, you know, there's obviously the Danny Garcia rematch, which I think Amir Khan can win that fight. Um, you know, there's who else is at 140? There's a guy like Mike Alvarado. Um, there's a fight. There's Brandon Rios. There's so many guys who Amir Khan could fight. Um, I don't think he's gonna want anything to do with the Lucas Matisses of the world. Um, but there's a lot of good, solid guys that he could fight at 140. Heck, even some guys at 135. Broner's a big guy. What about Amir Khan versus Adrian Broner? There's plenty of possibilities out there. So Amir Khan's management just needs to be a lot more careful than they were in the past. I think they may have gotten a little bit cocky too and started feeling, believing Amir Khan's own hype that he was like some type of pound for pound great when he wasn't yet. He still got work to do. But, I mean, heck, I'd like to see Amir Khan maybe fight a Juan Manuel Marquez. There's plenty of fights I think Amir Khan could fight, and I would actually pick Amir Khan to win. He's just got to start fighting smart. He's got to start fighting smart, and that's what I'm going to see, or at least what I'm hoping to see in this Carlos Molina fight. He can't go in there underestimating this kid. He's got to go in there and follow the game plan. And he's been known to stray away from the game plan in a lot of fights, in most fights. Um, Also, something that needs to be said is Amir Khan's got to learn how to fight on the inside, and I think Virgil Hunter. I'm really hoping that Virgil Hunter could help him do that. Andre Ward is a good inside fighter. Um, Amir Khan is really uncomfortable on the inside, and that's what everybody really saw in that Lamont Peterson fight. He doesn't want to be in the pocket, and he doesn't need to be. He's got too much of a nice reach. Um, so he doesn't need to be banging with guys in the pocket. That's not showing that you have heart just because you want to trade with guys in the pocket. It's being stupid. You don't need to do it. You got reach. You got speed. Use what you have. Play to your advantages, not your opponents. All right. So Amir Khan needs to learn how to fight on the inside. And if he's just one of those guys who's just too long, who it's just too hard to fight on the inside, that's fine. There's been plenty of fighters who are champions who don't know how to fight on the inside. You know, Vladimir, for years didn't really have too much of an inside game. And still arguably doesn't have a great inside game, but he's holding down the heavyweight division. So you just have to play to your strengths. And also, you can't just push guys off you to keep them away. There's other ways to keep guys, away besides that. Sure, you could do an occasional push every now and then, but that blatant pushing isn't going to get you very far. You need to learn how to tie up. You need to learn how to tie up because even sitting there trying to push a guy off you can end up getting you nailed in the process of doing that. So you just need to learn how to wrap these guys up when they're in close. But I have faith that Amir Khan could be a great fighter at 140. If Amir Khan takes his time, rebounds well, fights the rematches that he needs to fight, and then really goes after everybody at 140 and gets back on top, then he'll be okay, you know. But he just needs to chill out and stop looking to fight these guys at 147. He doesn't need to fight Mayweather, you know. Um, if he wants to make the Timothy Bradley fight happen, um, Timothy Bradley is a guy who doesn't have too much power. So, if that fight had to be done at welterweight, I guess I could see it happening. But like I said, Amir Khan, for the most part, man, just stay at 140. Stay at 140 and just hold down the 140-pound division. Um, that's my thoughts on Amir Khan. You guys let me know what y'all think. Do y'all see Amir Khan really learning his lessons from the past? Or do y'all think he's going to revert back to the Khan that we've seen of late and eventually get knocked out by somebody? Y'all let me know. But those are my thoughts.